Hello everyone! Azuna opened up on the Legion Alpha servers, and I thought it'd be a good idea to sit down and talk about the story of the zone. For those who want to see everything the zone has to offer, I already uploaded a full playthrough of it, so if you want some of the details that I won't be talking about today, you can check that video out. As described in the title and the description, this video will be about the Legion Alpha, so be warned, spoilers ahead. If you don't want any spoilers, then let me just say thank you very much for watching so far, and please turn off the video right now. Let's begin, shall we? The once idyllic island paradise of Azuna is being invaded. The Legion rains death from above. Queen Azshara's Naga rise from the depths below, and the cursed ghosts of the island's former inhabitants stir. All seem drawn to a relic of great power hidden deep within the Elven ruins. It's Archmage Khadgar that recruits the aid of heroes to join him on his mission into Azuna. He has intel indicating that an ancient relic waits in the zone, which might be the key to stopping the Legion. As for some of the other zones, our mission is to get our hands on one of the pillars of creation, in this case the Tidestone of Goblin, which is needed to seal the rift at the Tomb of Sargeras and stop the Legion invasion. It is from this rift that the Legion is pouring into Azeroth, so shutting it down is a very good idea. As we fly into the zone, we can see that the Naga forces are already on the move. Queen Azshara herself is also after the Pillar of Creation, and the Illidari already stationed in the zone, they need some help with holding their base. After activating some defenses and interrogating some of the demon souls, we find out that the demon hunters are desperately looking for Illidan's body. Last we've seen of Illidan was during the demon hunter starting experience, where he's taken by Cordana and Gul'dan. Maiev goes after them. We know that Illidan's spirit is separated from his body within Blackrook Hold, but the location of his body is still unknown. The demon offers no insight. Instead, he suggests they were betrayed from within, and the mission of finding Illidan's body, it's not really mentioned anymore after this, and they kind of forget about it. Instead, our attention is drawn to a blue dragon who swooped down and killed a whole bunch of demons, yet in the process, she got herself captured. It's up to us to rescue Stelagosa, and after finding her key and setting her free, she rushes off to deal with the warden who did this to her. It seems like the interrogated demon did not lie, since the demon hunters have been betrayed from within. Cordana Felsong has been able to turn Siana Nightglaive. She turned traitor, she joined the Legion, so we take care of her, while Cordana, she leaves the scene, stating that she has other matters to attend to. For those that don't remember, Cordana used to be on our side. She joined Khadgar on his mission into alternate Draenor, but when Khadgar used the Orb of Dominion to free Garona's mind, Cordana fell to Gul'dan's influence and joined his side.
Very well. Walk away. Nothing will stop Gul'dan, for the Legion stands behind him. Mark my words, your leaders will betray you. Azeroth will burn.
We actually tried to take her out during the legendary questline, but Cordana wasn't ready to end it there, and she later showed up in the Vault of the Wardens, and now she's here in Azuna. With Siana and several demons taken care of, the Illidari should be able to hold the line without our aid. Time to focus on the Titan Keystone again, and if there's anyone that could tell us about its location, it would be Senegos, who's Stelagosa's grandfather.
He is not well. What is happening here?
It looks pretty, Khadgar!
Let the youthful one approach. I am not as dead as I look.
Senegos is the oldest blue dragon still drawing breath, and from BlizzCon, we already knew that we would find a small dying remnant of the blue dragonflight. In the quest text, it's now clearly described that since the fall of Deathwing, the dragons have lost nearly all of their power, and to make matters worse, they can no longer bear eggs. This means that the dragons can truly no longer reproduce. Now, this was already hinted at in the novel Dawn of the Aspects, it was then confirmed on Twitter, and now the information can also be found in the game. Grandad isn't doing too well either. Khadgar senses that there's something not quite right with the magical energy in the area, so we're asked to drop some lake crystals in the pool to buy Senegos a few more breaths. Our main mission was to find out about the Tidestone of Goblin, and Senegos informs us that it was shattered long ago. He does not know how it happened, but he does know where the pieces remain. The ghostly night elves to the south once had the Great Pillar. If anyone knows what happened to it, they will be able to tell us, but we can't just leave the blue dragons to their fate. The Nightfallen have assaulted their whelplands, and considering that the dragons can't reproduce anymore, this attack could be devastating to their flight. The heroes that we are, we put the mission of finding the keystone on hold for the moment, as we help out the dragons fight off the Nightfallen. Who are these Nightfallen, you might ask? Well, this connects to the Suramar zone, and what's going on there. Now, Suramar is not available yet for testing, so this information mainly comes from BlizzCon. What they said back then was that Suramar and the land was hit by the Sundering very hard, yet the capital city still stands. It was protected by a protective spell, channeled by the might of the mages, and harnessed power of a great arcane well, now known as the Night Well. Here we'll find a new Night Elf race called the Nightborn, and very similar to the High Elf Blood Elf Wretched storyline, the Nightborn are dependent on their source of arcane magic. Being exiled from the city is not uncommon, and when you're cut off from your source of magic, you'll first turn into a Nightfallen, and you'll start suffering from withdrawal. If you fail to find some sort of arcane substance, you'll eventually devolve even further into something that they call a Withered, and once you become a Withered, there's no going back. This is the reason why the Nightfallen attack and why Khadgar senses that something is wrong with the magic. The Nightfallen have started eating the Whelplings, they drain magic from the area, and we even team up with one of them, named Runas the Shamed. He convinces us that he's not like his friends and family, the bunch of magic junkies that they are, as he begs us to get him his fix, and he sucks on any magical source that he can find. I think that they did a great job on his model, and we do our very best to stop these attacks, right? Yet as the leader feels cornered, he makes an escape and he urges the rest of them to follow his lead as they'll take the battle to the blue dragons. Delicious, delicious blue dragons to feast upon. The battle, it looks devastating, but of course we help out, and it ends with us taking out their leader, and Senna goes, he hasn't felt this good in years. Sadly, the same can't be said for Runas, as we witness him turning from a Nightfallen into a Withered. This hunger is consuming my very mind, it's taking every ounce of my energy to just... Can you hear me, my friend? I cannot see you anymore. I think perhaps it's time to say goodbye then. Thank you, my friend, for letting my last few hours mean something. A very sad moment, but the hunt for the Pillar of Creation must go on. We go where Xenagos tells us to go, and we meet up with a Night Watcher called Idri, a spirit who can take us to her prince, but before she does that, she asks of us to take care of the Naga attacking the area. As we finish the job and we ride towards the prince, she tells us to spit on him if we get the chance. The spirits next to the prince, they hoped that we're assassins to finally do away with him. These elves of Azuna, they have no love for their prince, and at first, I was right there with them, right? I typed spit, but I soon regretted it, since throughout the questlines you find out that the prince wasn't such a bad guy. Here's what happened to him and his people 10,000 years ago. As one of the queen's trusted advisors, Farondis was in regular contact with the highborn of Azshara, but his palace in Azuna, it was several leagues away from the elven capital. As such, he was able to witness Sargeras' influence on the highborn court without falling sway to the demon's temptation. Farondis' plan was bold but simple. Destroy the Moonwell in Azshara. Doing so would close the portal to Sargeras' realm and stem the tide of evil before it even started. In order to accomplish this task, he would use the power of an artifact stored deep within Nar'thalas Academy, the Tidestone of Golganath. Unfortunately, the queen's influence in Farondis' palace was already deep-seated. Vandros, a young noble in Farondis' court, caught word of Farondis' plan to defy the queen and reported the insurrection to Queen Azshara herself. Azshara wasted no time in punishing Farondis and his people. In a frightening display of arcane power, she destroyed the Tidestone of Golganath, and in doing so, released a wave of dark energy over all of Azuna and its inhabitants. Since that day, the elves of Azuna have been unable to experience the release of death. Their spirits, our spirits, wander the land indefinitely, all because of our prince's unwise allegiances.
I only did what I thought was right.
So the prince was one of the few that actually dared to try and stand up against Azshara and their mad schemes of bringing the Legion into Azeroth. The one that betrayed him, Vandros, he's still alive to this date, and he will be the final boss in the Archway dungeon. Now the prince, he wants nothing more than to make amends for his mistakes, and he believes that we as his champions, we can do just that. After defeating Avisa, who's leading a Naga attack against Farondis' people and is also searching for the Tidestone, the prince guides us to the academy where the shards of the Tidestone are kept. The Academy is absolutely brilliant. There are a lot of Harry Potter references, there are a lot of fun quest lines, but for the story, nothing really major happens. We prove ourselves, we get an audience with the headmistress, we take her down, we grab the key, we collect the fragments, until the moment comes where Afisa shows up again and she knocks us out. In a nice twist, it's Farondis who comes to save us, and now you can play as him for a bit, as he explained what happened. You get to play as Farondis. Sick!
Guilt overcame me. I could not simply wait while you fought my battles.
Sick, sick,
I resolved
sick.
to follow you into the Academy.
I love Azuna. Azuna is amazing.
I'd only reached the Academy entrance when I saw those two Naga with you in tow.
Make sure that the prisoner doesn't awaken, Prayesh.
Yes, my mistress.
I followed them as closely as I dared.
That's me! That's me being dragged away there. What the fuck? Hey, can you be a little bit more gentle? Hey! That's gonna leave a mark in the morning.
Chance. I would attack the Naga leaders and save you from captivity.
Be gone, spirit. The Tidestone belongs to us now.
You deal with our guest, officer. I shall take the prisoner.
Oh, snap. Hello. Curse you and your kind, elf. The queen herself will hear of this. Afisa and the Tidestone had evaded me. Rather than pursuing her, I set out to rescue you, my champion. Ooh. Vision of
At
Queen
the entrance
Azshara.
to the cave, however, I ran into an old acquaintance.
Farondis, my most loyal subject. It's been too long.
That voice.
I'm sorry, you must not recognize me. Is this better?
Queen Azshara. You lead the Naga?
Poor deluded Farondis. Don't you remember? I quashed your rebellion 10,000 years ago. Do you remember how powerless you were to stop me? And look at you now, a specter of your former self, cursed in eternity of underneath and ineptitude. I'm giving you an opportunity to kneel before me, Princeling. May something can be done about that little curse. To release my people's curse, to redeem myself and secure a legacy. No, I knew what I must do. The people of Azuna were and always will be too proud to kneel before your demonic allies, witch. And we will never... Whoa! Whoa! What the... Ha 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 ha! My wrath is coming! Bonjour! I have come for my champion. Save yourself! Hello, myself. What happened Farondis? Let's loop it. Let's do it again.
I believe you know the rest of the story.
I wonder if the shadowy Naga form that we see is a temp model, or if they're going to keep it like that. Either way, Queen Azshara herself showed up, and Farondis stood up to her like a boss. The Naga will not wait with using the runestone, so we have to make haste, and we confront Afisa again. I honestly thought that Afisa was going to get a bigger role in the story, considering that she had her own description on the Legion website, but it seems like she gets taken down during the quest, as Farondis' people, they rally to their prince.
Why, Thaldris? Why did you and your men come to my aid? I thought you despised me.
They've seen how he stood up against Azshara. Any elf with the courage to stand up against the queen herself is worth following, and after 10,000 years, Farondis' people follow their prince once more. The Tidestone, it was taken into the dungeon called Eye of Azshara, so we go in, we take care of all the bosses inside, and we collect another pillar of creation. One step closer to sealing the rift at the Tomb of Sargeras, and hopefully putting a stop to this Legion invasion. Now that's pretty much the main storyline of the zone, right? Getting our hands on the Pillar of Creation, but there are a couple of side quests. You help out a warlock who's working together with a demon hunter by finding his imp. The imp has you sign a contract in blood to take down his former master, and after doing so, you get a contract to request the aid of the imp. The item sadly doesn't work yet, I can't wait to see it in action. There's a side quest where we help said demon hunter with taking down demons at Felblaze Ingress. We secure the zone further for the Illidari. There is a side quest where you help 2 night elves with tracking down their family, which they believe to be dead for all these years, but since the elves in Azuna were cursed, we were able to reunite them. There is a side quest where you help liberate enslaved fighters, which result in a gigantic pet battle where we are the pets. There's a hilarious conversation you have with a Hosen, there are cool terras NPCs which might be a hint of things to come, and there's the liberation of Mr. Shackle's personnel. Mr. Shackle has a salvaging operation going on, and as luck would have it, a forsaken ship. It ran aground in Azuna, so we are sent to investigate. It is in this quest that I could find the only difference between the Horde and Alliance experience. As you approach the ship, a quest will pop up, which states that the Goblin and the Makrura of Makrana, they've captured the forsaken sailors from the nearby shipwreck. The sailors are being treated very poorly, so it looks like it's up to us to rescue them. That's the quest that the Horde are given, whereas the Alliance, they see it a little bit different. To them, it looks like the sailors are being poisoned and worse. It's best to put them out of the misery, so instead of saving them, the Alliance actually kills the shipwrecked sailors. Inside the shipwreck itself, we find a captain's log. It's damaged, but some lines can still be read, and it describes what happens. Invading Legion repelled from Orgrimmar. On the broken shore, I have every faith that my crew will bring glory to the Forsaken and make the Dark Lady proud. We're half a day, barely survived. Queen Sylvanas has ordered the fleet to make way for Stormheim. I have a staff meeting with Admiral Harkar on the Windrunner in an hour. Interested to be certain, the Queen is going to steal the very power of the V for herself. V probably meaning Valkyr. Separated by a massive storm. I've given the order to batten down the hatches and weather it. There's no sign of the fleet. Once D will catch up and rendezvous at D. The journal connects to the storyline that takes place in Stormheim. I already did a video about the zone. In short, Sylvanas is interested in the Pillar of Creation to stop the Legion invasion, but she also has a more personal mission. It seems like she wants to steal the power of the Valkyr for herself, to be able to resurrect more troops to keep the Forsaken going. This power seems to come from Eir, a Titan Watcher, and throughout the zone, Greyman and his forces, they prevent this from happening, but some details are missing from this storyline, and they won't be clear until the cinematics are added. The journal is then taken back to Dalaran, where the Horde members are complimented for keeping this out of the hands of the Alliance, while the Alliance is informed that the information will be taken to Greymane. Now I don't know how the timeline works on the Broken Isles, considering that all the zones, they're flexible except for Suramar, so you can pick in which zone you want to quest first, so you can pick which storyline comes first. That leaves the question as to, do they inform Greymane before he goes into Stormheim, or is he informed after the fact? And I'm not entirely sure. Either way, that's the major difference that I could find between the two factions, which brings us to the end of the story of Azuna, at least for this moment, since it's very possible that more quests are going to be added. The hunt for Illidan's body, it seems to be forgotten about, and the vault of the Warden's dungeon entrance should also be located in this zone. Cordana is a boss in the vault of the Wardens. She did say that she's going to take care of some of her own personal interest business. There might even be stuff planned for max level, since the salvaging operations run by Mr. Shackle, it had a whole bunch of people working there, but they're all max level. There are also a bunch of random big minions placed around the Warden Isle, which some speculate could have escaped from the prison, so who knows what else they might do with the zone. Now a couple of final thoughts before we end this video. So far, Azuna is by far my favorite zone. It has some very sad moments with the Prince and Runas, but it also has a ton of humor in it. I laughed my ass off while questing through the academy, while trying to out-Hosen the Hosen, the brother and sister relationship where she shoots fireballs in his face, seeing giants do the pet battles. I laughed a lot throughout this zone, and I might sound a little bit tired and not that hyped, but trust me, I love this zone. The moment that I saw Azshara pop up was simply brilliant. I think that they did a really good job. Now, some feedback you guys and girls gave while I was streaming this zone was that Khadgar should be replaced with the blue dragon Caligos, since he has a deeper connection with the remnant of the blue dragonflight. I personally agree. I think that Kalik, being the former aspect and all, he would create some more depth in the storyline. So if they could find a way of replacing Khadgar with Caligos, I think that could be a nice addition, but I don't think it's a deal breaker, in my opinion. So far, Azuna has been amazing. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to end this video. So as always, thank you very much for watching, everyone. Subscribe if you like my videos. And until next time, guys. See ya!